of the ebb, 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 ebb tide, the water in the swamp, swamp, near the ocean was shallow, but at the high tide, it was very deep, as the water had flowed in from the sea. Okay.
During the period of the ebb tide, the water in the swamp near the ocean was shallow, but as the high tide, it was very deep, as water had flowed in from the sea.
Flowed in from the sea. Very good. Good job. Swamp, ebb, ebb, swamp, flowed, shallow, flowed. Okay, go ahead.
During the period of the ebb tide, the water in the swamp near the ocean was shallow, but at the high tide, it was very deep, as water had flowed in from the sea.
Had flowed. Try to get away from flowed. Had flowed. No, flowed. Flowed in from the sea. Okay, sir.
During the period of the ebb tide, the water in the swamp near the ocean was shallow, but at the high tide, it was very deep, as water had flowed from the sea. In from the sea.
As the water had flowed in from the sea. To take the phone out. Okay. During the period of the ebb tide, the water in the swamp near the ocean was shallow. But at the high tide, it was very deep, as water had flowed in from the sea. Okay.
During the period of the ebb tide, the water in the swamp near the ocean was shallow, but at the high tide, it was very deep, as water had flowed in from the sea.
Right, very good. Flowed in from the sea. Okay, sir.
During the period of the ebb tide, the water in the swamp near the ocean was shallow, but at the high tide it was very deep, as water had flowed in from the sea.
As water had flowed in from the sea. In the swamp near the ocean was shallow. Like it's almost S-H-A-L-O. Shallow. Water was shallow. Okay, go ahead.
During the period of the ebb tide, the water in the sea swam near the ocean was shallow, but at the high tide, it was very deep, as water had flowed in from the sea.
As water had flowed in from the sea. Very good. Go ahead.
During the period of the ebb tide, the water in the swamp near the ocean was shallow, but at the high tide it was very deep, and water had flowed in from the sea.
Flowed in from the sea. It was very deep, as water had flowed in from the sea. Okay.
During the period of ebb tide, the water in the swamp near the ocean was shallow, but as high tide, it was very deep as water has flowed in from the sea.
Right, very good. But at the high tide, it was very deep, as water had flowed in from the sea. Did you get to read this? Wait. Did you read this? Oh. Go ahead, Sue.
During the period of the ever tide, the water in the swamp near the ocean was shallow, but at the high tide it was very deep as water has flowing from the sea.
As water had flowed, almost like just F-L-O-D, flowed. Yes, go ahead.
During the period of the ebb tide, the water in the swamp near the ocean was shallow, but at the high tide it was very deep, as water had flowed in from the sea.
As water had flowed in from the sea. During the period of time that there was an ebb, EB, just like EB, ebb tide. When the water in the ocean recedes from the beach, and all of a sudden there's a big beach because the water has flowed back during the time of the ebb tide. During the time of the ebb tide, when the water in the swamp, what is a swamp?
It's the water around.
It's an area of ground that is wet and that threw me off. Wet and slightly watered. Almost when you walk through it, it's like splashing through water. Splashing, splash, splash. Very thin, but it's wet. A swamp. Could be a very large swamp or a rather small. It became very famous, the word, when President Trump was elected. He says, I'm going to Washington, D.C. to clear the swamp. In other words, implying that Washington, D.C. was not a clean and good place. It had to be cleaned up. Clear the swamp. The swamp near the ocean, it was back from the ocean maybe 100 yards or something like that, was shallow, very low, very shallow, not deep, shallow water. You can walk through the water, don't worry, it's very shallow. Not deep. Was shallow. But at the high tide, when the period of the ebb tide ends, it then begins the high tide. When the water goes out, now it's coming back. And when the water comes back, it was very deep in the swamp, much deeper than it was at the ebb tide. The water came in and flowed in from the sea. To flow in is to come in. Flow, the water is flowing. The river water is flowing, going downstream. Ebb tide.
What is the F from EDB? I know the meaning. Just T-red.
Yeah, ebb.
That's T-red.
You can use it in other ways besides water or tides. You can be at a football game, 20,000 people attending. And it is the home team they are supporting. But as the game goes on, the home team is falling behind. In the beginning of the game, when there was no score and it had just started, the crowd was very enthusiastic. Rah, 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 rah. But as the game proceeded and the score went against the home team, the enthusiasm, rah, rah, started to ebb. Where they were cheering very loudly in the beginning, it slowly went down. Why? Because there was nothing to cheer about. The team was losing, and losing more and more. The enthusiasm at the beginning ebbed. Till the end of the game, they just sat there staring, over, lost. And the enthusiasm, which was very high, slowly ebbed away. So you can use it in things fading. Swamp, shallow, not deep. You can also be a very shallow person. Not good. But at the high tide, when the water is coming in, and it is very deep in the swamp, flowing, moving. Any questions? Okay. Question?
อันนี้เชื่อค่ะอันนี้ความผิวดี EDD แปลว่าอะไรแปลภาษาไทยไม่ได้ค่ะอะไรอยู่ไหน
What? Shallow?
No FPP EDD
Oh, yeah.
แปลว่าน้ำแรงลง
น้ำขึ้นน้ำลงทำโฟเนม
Yeah. To
โฟเน
slowly,
ม
to slowly fade away. The time is ebbing away.
น้ำขึ้นน้ำลง
Slowly. Ebb.
เจ้าโฟเนม EDD
Yeah.
โฟเนม
Yeah.
No I don't know โฟเนมสเปลโฟเนม
อะไร
ตัวย่ออันนี้มีแต่ตัวย่อแล้ว
โฟเนม
Anyway,
นี่เหรอเต็มเหรอ
to fade away.
อ๋อ
And the ebb tide is the water fading back into the ocean.
คุณสุ she confused about the EBB she thinks EBB must come from another word is a pool more than T-red.
Sorry. I didn't make it up myself. It's not ebba diba daba duba dababa, also known as ebb. No. That's just the way it
คำเดียว
is.
กันเลยไหมเขียนเสียงคำเดียวกัน
What is but? That's a short word, right? But it's not butler doobie dop dop what. It just happens to be but. Ebb, but, the. It's not me making things shorter on purpose so it's easy. No, that's just the way it is.
Thank you teacher
Right.
I learned
แปลกดีนะ
Okay.
เขาเริ่มเสริมอาหารสุดขาวในเรื่อง flow in and flow out
What?
flow in opposite of flow out
Right. The water is flowing in
flow out
and flowing out. Yeah.
ทีนี้อีแซนนี่
ตอนเช้าน้ำลงตอนเย็นน้ำขึ้น in the sea teacher in the morning
evening.
Right.
น้ำเครื่องเดียวเนี่ย
I take Thai.
Thai.
I hope next year you come again. You can say it in Thai for
Yeah, right. I'm sure. English class. A word.
But sometimes I can
เขาคงพูดได้
I don't
นะ
know.
เขาพูดได้
พูดถึงเรื่องนั้น
แม่ที่เมียไทยต้องพูดไทยได้อยู่แล้วแต่ว่า
Period.
ภาษา
Period.
period
Period.
Period.
Don't talk in class. Period. Okay. Or a period. What is a period?
It's a time. เวลา
Or
ช่วงเวลาช่วงเวลา
Full stop.
yeah. At the end of a sentence, if you're writing or typing a sentence, you stop with a period.
ประจำเดือนก็ได้ไม่ใช่เหรอ
I am going to the store, period. I will buy some food and milk, period. Boom, 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 boom. Or it's a part of time. It could be an hour. It could be a year. During the period of the storms in the winter. Period. Your class can be a period. You can have the first period, English, the second period, arithmetic, the third period, history. Period. 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. Period, first period, second period, third period. Different thing each period. During the period of the ebb tide, the time of the ebb tide.
ภาษาไทยเรียกว่าข้าว
all the period of อยุธยาในช่วง
Well, right, the UTI era, ERA,
ข้าวเปลี่ยนเนี่ยเป็นเรื่องเด็ก
an era is a period of time. Usually the era of UTI being the capital of Thailand, or the era of a certain king, the Victorian era. Queen Victoria of England ruled during the Victorian era.
the same the word rain REITN rain
Well, it's a reign could be a period of time.
the same
Not exactly. An era can be many different things. The Victorian era could be the reign of Queen Victoria. But you can use era when talking about other than kings or queens or reigns.
the same
You can talk about it in many different ways. Period. The end. Period. Okay. Ebbing. Slowly fading away. Ebbing. In the newspaper tomorrow. Front page.
ไม่ได้ให้ร้าย
You think so?
ดีใจด้วยนะพี่สุ
Okay, we'll talk about the weather for a few minutes.
เราเดี๋ยวพี่จะได้เหมือนนั้นพวกนี้ก็จะเอามาให้ภาพเนี่ยเดี๋ยวได้โชว์นะที่ดูสายตู้มันใช่เดี๋ยวต้องใช้
Okay, clear. Clear. Cloudy. Loudly. Cloudy. Not crowdy. Cloudy.
rain
Snow.
snow
Snow.
snow
Does it snow in Bangkok?
no
You're
What
joking.
is sun?
one
You're
day
joking.
coming soon
I thought in November.
Meaning
The reason I was leaving it at the end of October is because it snows in November. No? Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't like snow very much.
I like snow very much
เกลียดมากเลยทริปไหนมีสโนว์ไม่ไป
What about rain?
เรน
ตกชอบมากเลย
It rains all the time.
rain rain
the water from the sky
Right. Carry an umbrella every day. It's an umbrella in the bag every day. Why? You ready? Rain. Precipitation from the sky.
in England every day rain
Right. Windy.
windy
is โคล
Cold.
Wind.
It can be cold and not windy. Windy.
Wind.
Yeah, the wind is blowing. You see the flags in the air blowing. Oh, it must be windy. It's very windy today. Whoa. Cloudy.
cloudy
Cloudy. What is cloudy?
cloud in the
sky
cloud
หมอก
Smog.
หมอก in Thai
You should say overcast.
ไม่ใช่หมอกนะเมฆ
เมฆ
ถ้าหมอกอีกตัวหนึ่ง
เมฆหมอกครับ
Yeah, clouds forming in the sky. Could be
เมฆ
wet clouds, precipitation, or vapors that form in the sky. And when it's cloudy, you can say also it's overcast. Cloudy cover, overcast. And clear.
sunny clear
Yeah, no clouds, no overcast, a clear day. Usually clear and sunny. The sun is shining, you can see clearly out there everything. Very beautiful day. Clear and sunny. How's the weather? Clear and sunny. Pronunciation. Windy, snow, rain, overcast, sunny, clear. Is that clear? Is that clear? Clear could be other different meanings other than weather. You can have a clear view. You can see everything clearly. Is that clear? You understand what I'm saying? Oh, that's not clear. I can't. What do you mean by clear? Oh, it's clear. Any questions?
Windy and breezy. Breezy is lighter, light breezy.
No, windy would be more than breezy. A breeze, a light breeze, a little bit. Windy can, you could have
ไม่รู้ว่าอะไรผมสักคำนี้ว่า breeze
heavy wind. Heavy wind could cause damage if it was very windy, knock over trees or something like that. Breezy, a little light wind, a little back and forth.
Big windy how to say.
Huh?
Big windy how to say. มรสุม
big windy แต่ว่า
Big wind. Big wind.
Like a
มร
typhoon.
สุม
แต่ผมชอบออกวัน
มรสุม
แปลว่าไม่มี
Monsoon.
มอนซูน
How do you
มร
spell it?
สุม
เวลาม
รสุม
นี่เข้าไปไหนมา
Oh, monsoon. A monsoon. That's rainy weather, monsoon.
how do you
Breezy, windy, overcast, cloudy, clear, and
ไม่
sunny.
ทราบเหมือนกันไม่เคยเจอกัน
Very clear.
ฉันต้องซื้อมาที่
Rain and snow. You live in the northern states in the U.S., you'll get snow.
พระอาจารย์บอก
ไอ้ไม้โอเชียนอ่ะปูย
Rain changing to snow.
不要紧张
What is sleep? Sleep.
สลิด
sleepy
สลิด
Not sleep.
สลีด
Sleep.
สลีด
กีกีนะ
What is the meaning I don't know
Sleep.
สลีดสลีดสลีด
Sleet is a mixture of rain and ice.
ฮะ
Little pieces of ice
โอ้
coming down. Sleet.
It's like snow
Not snow, no. Snow, gentle. Snow would be gentle flakes falling. Sleet is a heavy rain with ice particles in the rain. With little pieces of ice.
ฝนตกเป็น
Sleet.
very cool to have the ice
อะไรนะฝนตกเป็น
Very
ต
cold.
กมาหิมะตก
Cold, right?
เป็น
Very
หิมะต
cold.
ก
Sleet. Breezy, windy, overcast, cloudy, clear, sunny, windy, rain, snow. Any questions about that?
Teacher, I want to know how many monsoon. How many monsoon?
How many?
Yeah, how many monsoon? Tornado, monsoon,
Tornado.
เนี่ยออกมาฝนตกไปลูก
need to know all kinds of the storm
Tornado.
what kind of
tornado
Tornado. Wind going around and around and around and around, causing all kinds of destruction. Tornadoes are fairly common in the Midwest United States in early summer. Wind circling, knocking everything down. Houses, trees, everything out of a tornado. A typhoon. A typhoon. Or a hurricane. About the same thing. Heavy wind, rain, pushing forward into the area. Hong Kong was hit with a typhoon. Florida was hit with a hurricane. Same type of thing. Different word, same storm. A hurricane has hit the coast of Florida. Oh my gosh, everybody get under cover, be careful. Hurricane, typhoon in Asia, hurricane in the US.
มันแล้วแต่ชื่อผ่านเส้นไหนก็ตั้งชื่อไม่ได้จริง
Tornado, hurricane. Sleet, like hail. Hail, ice, hitting. If you leave your car outside in a hailstorm, when you go out the next day, dents all through the ice hitting the car. Yikes. Hailstorm, sleet, rain, snow, hurricane, tornado, ooh. Many different words for the weather.
You know, when after 2 or 3 days after I have a car crash, when I wake up, it's like a tornado in my head.
Oh, tornado in your head. Well, I don't know. What's that?
I cannot sit, just sleep.
วันที่โดนเขาทุนแล้ววันเหตุอ่ะ
Yikes.
วันที่อุบิเหตุน่ะเหรอวันที่อุบิเหตุน่ะเหรอ
2-3 วันพี่ลุกไม่ได้เลยมันเหมือนทอร์นาโด
นึกว่าวันที่รถชน
Tornado, very strong
ก็
wind.
ชนสรุปไม่รู้เรื่อง
นึกว่าเกิดก่อนที่จะสลบอะไรอย่างเงี้ยไม่ใช่
จำอะไรไม่ได้เลย